I lost him. He was shot and killed by Oklahoma Police Department. I lost my lifetime partner and my best friend to police violence during a routine traffic stop. The loss of his love and the loss of his life catapulted me into this work.
The man you just heard from is Brandon D. Anderson. In 2017, he said he had a plan to hold law enforcement accountable and reduce the need for policing in America. But it turns out that he was actually scamming his own nonprofit.
Yeah, like how most of them did in 2020, these nonprofits, right? I mean, this isn't a technical BLM agency, but, it still was some sort of Black defund the police, Like, I have to bust out laughing because it's like insane. It is insane. It's not that it's insane in a way where, like, obviously things like this happen, right? But I just remember 2020 and I remember 2021 and all of the gaslighting with, the Black people getting killed every day and all this and all of that. Like, I remember all of that. And I was at first, like in 2020, don't get me wrong, that George Floyd thing, I think everybody kind of felt like, whoa, this is a bit much. But it went too far. It went way too far. And I immediately woke up. Like, I was like, oh, shoot, no, this is not what we should be doing. All the writing and everything. But these organizations, they steal the money. All right, let me let her tell the story because I'm already ready to go off.
Which he formed for this mission and screwing over his fellow advocates to finance a lavish lifestyle. So Anderson is the leader of Rahim AI, which he started because his fiance had allegedly been killed by an abusive cop, as you just heard from the video we showed you. Now, here is where we run into the first pretty big problem. The New York Times found no evidence of the killing that Mr. Anderson has described. No homicide in the entire state of Oklahoma involved a man named Rahim, nor did any match the particulars of the officer-involved death Mr. Anderson had described.
Please, guys, don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell, because, the commentary that I want to give for this, I don't think you're going to hear it anywhere else. But no, I'm just joking about that. I mean, I'm pretty decent on it. No. Okay. All right. Let's get serious, right? He couldn't even pick somebody that actually did die. He totally made up somebody. And then sat there and then did the whole intersectionality of being gay and Black. And then, my man was ended by the cops. It's just like, it is disgusting.
Yeah.
I wish the people he was working with, the actual advocates, were aware of that before they decided to dedicate their time and their energy to this nonprofit. But they didn't, and they did get screwed over. And what I think is also interesting about this story is like the internal debate about whether or not to let the authorities know about it, to which I say, of course you should. Of course you should. But we'll get to that later.
No, the part about, they want to abolish police, but then he rips them off. And they don't know what to do. That's honestly hilarious.
Yeah, go to the police. Yeah, let them know.
And so we'll get to it in a second. But look, guys like this are sorry, but they're the worst. And so, like, you pretending that you had someone that was near and dear to you and that whole emotional BS that you just did, and when you made it up, it's gross, man. It's super gross.
It's super gross. No, it's not just super gross. It's super disrespectful. It's super dangerous, okay? Why he was able to do this. In 2020 and 2021, people lost their mind. I didn't know that this pandering was to this level, okay? When you hear defund the police, they really did defund the police. They took the money and put it in other things. And you have all of these people who get so hyped, especially with BLM and everything that happened with, I'm not going to say that person's name again, but the summer of love, if you will, they get so hype and they went too far with it. BLM was already stealing money. Like, there's parents of victims who they were like, they made all this money off of my child's back, but I never saw a single bit of it. I didn't see anything from them. And the hood is still the hood, right? So what was the point? And this is what I mean. But guess what? Now, when you take funds away, then you don't have enough cops. Well, things got worse and a lot more people get ended, and all of this talk about, we're not going to arrest certain people for certain things and, because it might be racist. I thought it was bogus. I was a baby. I don't want to say a baby conservative, right? Because I think my life has always been conservative, just with a flair of media headlines, of leftist media headlines, okay? Because there's values that I've always held all my life, okay? So I don't want to make it about that. However, the thing is, you had people who, but by 2020, after I saw all the riots and everything, I was like, what the heck is going on? And then to say defund the police, I've never been one who advocated for less law and order. Bear with me. I don't want to say that I want a police state. I don't. But we're not practicing the law the way we should. And people get away with stuff. In Philadelphia, we have a problem with people with priors who keep getting out of jail and coming out and ending people's lives. I'm not with that at all. And they go right to the hood and do it. I don't want them doing it anywhere. Right? That's where they go. And it's like, I remember I discussed this with people. And our DA is like the most progressive thing ever. And everybody was down with it. I said, don't vote for this guy. We're going to have more life endings in Philadelphia. Oh, no, the other guy's racist, and that's why we're not going to vote for him. Without even knowing if the person was racist or not. Like, this discussion, these subjective discussions are ridiculous. People are still getting dropped. But anyway, but this guy, he doesn't care that people getting dropped or whatever. He scammed people to enrich himself. And so it just makes me, that's why it's just all so fake and apparently gay.
But there's two other things about it that really piss me off. Number one, when people actually care about movements, right? Police reform, fighting against sexism, racism, etc., all those things. False charges or false stories like this make people much more reluctant to help, especially when it's the leader of a group that's taking money. Then people go, I don't know what's a scam and what's not a scam. Well, I guess I'm not going to give. And that is horrible, all for your own personal gain. It's unbelievable. And another part of it, guys, is that it poisons the well for everything. So now everybody thinks that everything's a grift because there's so many grifts, right?
By the way, I didn't need this to happen for me to think anything was a grift. The minute BLM stepped on the scene, and this is when I was still listening to leftist headlines, I was like, I do not trust this group of 3 women who are saying that they hate men. And that's in fact what they would say. They were saying like, her story, we protect black men. We protect black mothers, black trans, black gay, black. And I was like, they don't say that they protect black men. So I had already read into their mission statement. I was like, I'm not with this. I love black men. So I'm like, we need men. And I'm like, why aren't they protecting that? By the way, another thing, I'm not for police reform. Sorry, I'm not. I think that you should deal with bad apples, right? There are bad apples, and I think they should be dealt with. But I don't think that we should have police reform where people are trying to keep the streets safe with a hand tied behind their back. I had the pleasure of going through somebody's YouTube channel to kind of clean up some of the stuff that was on there. And I saw a lot of like live footage of like, police cam stuff, and it was like kind of cool. And I saw this footage of this one guy who was like acting crazy and like he was gonna lunge at the cops, and all they had was tasers, and the tasers wasn't even like locking on the guy. They had to struggle with this guy and everything. No, I'm okay. Anywho, so the problem is when we do all of this like police reform, again, to me, I'm just like, all it does is make it that cops can't do their job. They're going with their hands tied behind their back, and it's gonna make the cop feel like, you know what, let me just not even go there, because next thing you know, I'm on the news. I don't need this in my life. There was too much of that. You notice we don't have that anymore though, right? Remember all of them? All, Jake Blake and all of these other people, like Brianna something, what, and no disrespect to anybody who died. I'm not coming at them, but it was like all of their stories, all of this. Remember all of that? So, I mean, what happened to the stories? Where everything go? You can't get me anymore to get excited or hype about anything. I have to wait 48 hours, right? Because there hasn't been a single march since 2020 and 2021. Wow.
And a grift like this in such a spectacular way, then it makes people go, oh, you're doing something that you are saying that is going to help people? Oh, it must be a grift.
But look, I agree with you. They do a lot of damage overall. However, I think that a lot of people, myself included, felt super energized and wanted to change things after what happened in 2020, right? And a lot of nonprofits started receiving this massive influx of grants, donations, a lot of cash. And I think one of the biggest lessons I've learned in recent years is that I had underestimated how many people will take advantage and find a way to literally rip people off, or they'll exploit a movement in order to enrich themselves. And this is, I think, a perfect example of that.
Well, actually, we have a better example, right? I'll say, I'm going to let you in on a little secret, okay? So, and I'm talking about big organizations. Like this guy, what he did is horrible, for sure. Big organization like BLM or NAACP. A lot of times they are not funded by Black people. Matter of fact, most times. It's not Black people funding them. It's not Black people even starting them. It's not. I mean, and BLM took in money, and then what they did was, besides buying the mansions and everything else, and by the way, I'm not making any excuses for anybody, because I think those women are disgusting. I thought they were disgusting from the minute it dropped. Anywho, a lot of that money that they took in, they funneled it into trans organizations, and it did not go to anything Black, because Candace Owens, she did do a pretty good documentary about it. And well, I'll say this, the best part about the documentary was finding out that most of the money went into trans organizations. These were Zionist funded organizations. These are Jewish funded organizations. So this is what I mean about Jewish people and Black people, this connection. Not all, obviously, not all Blacks and not all Jews, but they connect and they have these DEI missions, and they come together and they do this. A lot of times it's the left wing ones. That's exactly what it is. It's the left wing ones. It's with communism and stuff like that, to put people into blocks and to put people into categories, Black, gay, woman, all of that, just to push agendas. And so I don't have respect for people what is his name? W.E.B. Du Bois. I don't respect that guy at all, because he worked with these people, these communists, and to do the NAACP, and then look at America now, right? And I'm not going to go through a whole history lesson, but understand that happens a lot. I mean, I'm just here to debunk it all. The whole civil rights movement, for the most part, that's the connection of the civil rights movement, and this is why. But if you listen to this channel and you listen to me speak, you already know I don't leave too much for people to wonder about where I'm coming from or who I am. I keep saying abolish the civil rights movement, because, not movement, but the Civil Rights Act, because they're just adding on more and more and more to it, right? It's something that should have never happened. There's a constitution that serves and protects people. So that's just a little bit of a secret, maybe. For some people already know, right? But, this is really known. It's not a secret. It's something that we don't realize. This is why I don't get into movements. I don't jump to the next thing and, oh my gosh, we have to have a human rights for this. No, we have laws, and just follow the laws, prosecute people. But I'm just sick of people taking advantage. I really am. Because the way how America's running today, it shouldn't be this way. It shouldn't. There should be nothing called a protected class in a country that has a constitution with a Bill of Rights.
Lifestyle. So, nonetheless, like allegedly in honor of his fiance Brandon, he founded this company, right? This nonprofit, Raheem AI, and here he is describing what the original goal was.
Raheem means compassion, and that's exactly what we think it's going to take to build a world free of police violence. We do this by building a Facebook Messenger bot that lets you report on your interactions with police. We then publish that data in real time to a public dashboard that's accessible by you and by the police.
So, and you look, this happened in 2017. Who was the president? Trump. This is when the whole movement of everything is racist really started. Now, at 2017, I wasn't paying attention to it like that. I didn't know all these little groups were coming out and saying all this stuff, But this is when a lot of it started, because the very fine people, on both sides had everybody like, they're going to put us on slave ships and take us to Africa. I used to hear the most ridiculous things. And I remember being on the left and saying, do we sound crazy when we talk like this, right? So anyway, coming back to this person, this is classic borderline personality disorder, right? Look at him. I mean, just look at him. He's like, saying all of this, Raheem means caring and compassion, whatever he said. I already forgot. That's what it means. And then this is what we're going to do. Borderline personality disorder comes in many ways. And race is one of the issues. Yes, it is. When people are so hyped to be, and I'm going to say black, that they think the weirdest things. They think people are coming after them because they're black. They think that, or they use it to tell people to tell them that they're sorry for something in the past, all of this. And now today, a lot of this stuff is being revealed that there was just a lot of grifting going on. And I'm one I'm not here for it. I'm not, nobody gets the right to do this. I don't care how long, because for the person who says, your family wasn't born here, I'm foundational Black American, because I've been hearing that nonsense too. I don't care how long your family was here. Nobody gets to scam anybody out of money. Okay? This is ridiculous. It's disgusting. I'll see you guys at the next one.